One of the most common feelings we have when we start to learn to play guitar is frustration. We feel frustrated usually because we don't really know where to start or how to learn logically anything on the guitar. So I made this video with 5 simple steps you can take to learn anything on the guitar, even if you're an intermediate or advanced player. It's always good to remember these little steps that will make learning hopefully easier. So let's have a look. The first step that is necessary to learn to play anything on guitar is to make sure we understand what are we learning, to understand the concept. Now, lots of people will say that music is not about concepts, it's not about learning or memorizing, and it's true, it's actually about expressing feelings, and we'll talk about it a bit later on this video. But I think it helps if, for example, we have to learn to play a C major scale, that we know that this scale has 8 notes that goes from C to C, and that you can play it from down up or up down. This is a very simple concept and it's very obvious, but sometimes we find ourselves trying to learn things that we don't even understand, and that's when we get frustrated. So that's the first step, to have a little idea of what you're going to learn. The second step is the most important step, and sometimes we forget. We just want to learn things quickly and play them and move to the next thing. Second step means that you have to hear what you want to play. It has to become second nature. It can be a solo, it can be a scale, it can be a chord progression, but you have to hear inside before you start playing it. And that's the process of making music, is hear what is here and then play it. Always the same, from inside to outside. In this case, it's very simple. We just want to learn a C major scale, so we already know the sound. No mysteries here. We all learned this scale in school and we are very familiar. But you can take this scale, remove it, and then put anything else you like to learn on guitar. Chord progression, a solo, and it's the same process, from inside to outside. Right, this step is the one that leads to more frustration. Is the technical part where we actually sit down and we look at the scale, we look at the book or the paper sheet that our teachers gave us, and we need to actually translate what we see there to the guitar. Also, you could translate what you already heard to the guitar. It's the same process really, but it's the technical part and it's what is frustrating. Now, a tip to avoid frustration is expect it. Expect that you'll be frustrated when you learn something new. And if you're ready to be frustrated, eventually you will see it coming and it will not be as frustrating. So expect that at the beginning your fingers will not follow what you want to play. It's normal. So we have the scale on the paper and we just need now to translate it to the guitar. Now, it's important that we know where to put each finger, so we're learning the right way, but it's going to be sloppy. No problem, we were expecting that, remember? So mistake, no problem. Fine. We were expecting that, no problem. Okay, that's surely how we will look when you start learning a new solo, a new scale, a new chord. It's fine. Just make sure you get the fingers on the right place and the right fingers, and that your hands are coordinated, and the rest will come on the next step. The fourth step is when actually we get any concepts that we've memorized. Let's say we've memorized the shape of this scale or the solo or the chords. So we take this, let's say, information and we make it second nature, which means we don't have to think about scales or chords anymore. They're second nature and we are free to use them any way we like. Now, to get to this stage, there's lots of repetition involved. You have to go through them time after time, use a metronome to get things tidy, and there's lots of exercises you can do to practice this. For example, I'm just gonna get okay, so this is a metronome playing at 100, which is quite fast. It's just an example. So I'm just gonna Okay, that's fine. So that's one of the things I can do. Now I can play it. So on. There's lots of exercises you can do. If you were learning to play a solo, you will start very, very slowly and you will work your way up. Repetition, yes, is important, and sooner or later you have to go through lots of repetition. But it pays off because it means that you don't have to think about scales or notes anymore and you are free, which is worth it. Okay, and the last part of the learning process is the part that everything pays off. That's when you actually develop your own ideas. We just learned to play the C scale as an example. Now, we take this scale and we make a song out of it, our own song, something that is meaningful. To learn things just for the sake of learning them is a bit pointless. So we take this scale and we play a song that we just created. Or we take this solo we've learned from someone we like and we break it down and we incorporate some parts of the solo to our own solos. Things like that. That's what makes things, music beautiful. Now, the last remark is extremely important, as we were saying that music is not something that you learn by memorizing concepts, which is true. Sometimes you have to forget everything I've said and just pick your guitar and try to copy whatever someone else is playing. This is extremely important because that's how you develop your own style. Not by copying and succeeding, but by copying and not being able to do it. That's how most players and most styles were created, by people trying to copy someone else, but not quite. I hope you found this video useful. Remember to have a good time when you're playing guitar. Practice, but always enjoy what you're doing and develop your own ideas. It will be inspiring for you and for people around you. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.